All right, so this video is about prompting. So we have different levels of prompting that we use in special education. Many of you are probably already familiar with this, but I wanted to go through them and show you what the least to most prompting looks like. So we start with visual, and visual is just a visual example of what they're supposed to do. Like, for example, we have our visual calendars, and the children know to follow those visuals. So whether it's a sequence visual or something that they have seen. A gestural prompt, a visual prompt is usually located within the work itself, like an example. A gestural prompt would be if I'm matching, say here, let me give you an example. If I am matching my piece of paper and my other piece of paper, I want the student to match this one to this one. A gestural prompt, I would point and say, match, to point and show them what to do. Modeling, our next one, modeling, is where I would physically pick up the paper and say, match, and show the student and then undo the work. Verbal would be match, telling, match the cards. Partial physical, it's where you might put the student, so if I'm working with a child that has their two papers in front of them, here I'm going to do them a little closer, I would partially take the student's hand, match, match, like that. Full physical, on my prompt sheet it just says physical, but I call this full physical. Some people call it hand over hand or hand under hand. We actually prefer to do hand under hand. Many used to do hand over hand like this, so I would match, good job matching, like that. This is obviously just an example. Depending on where your child is at, you may not need to do that. Now we do what's called hand under hand. So rather than putting your hand over it and picking it up and moving it, you're actually going to do the activity with your hand under theirs. Sorry, I know it's confusing because they're both my hands. But you put your hand under theirs and then you're going to guide them to it that way and kind of help them to pick it up and match it. It's that same process of where you're doing it for them essentially, but you're guiding them through the process to get them to carry through with it, to follow through. This is important when they don't want to do the work, to let them know, to not only demonstrate how to do the work, but let them know that the work is important and that it needs to be done. So one of the things that we do though is we do these different prompts, and one of the things that we look for with growth, whether it's through classwork or their actual IEP goals, is we look for the prompting levels. So if you're needing to prompt your child, one of the things I might do is ask you to put a little note on the work of what you had to do to get them to do the work. So if there's maybe a hiccup where, oh man, they really didn't want to do the phonics work, so we had to really work through it. Okay, put a little note for me. If you're not sure what to put, perfectly fine. Just put a little note of what happened, even whether it's on the back of the paper, on the paper directly, on a sticky note, just somehow so I'll get it. And then that lets me know as we progress, if I don't see those notes anymore, that means we're progressing with our work. Or if I see more notes, maybe we need to back things up, it might be too hard. So that's kind of how we use that to gauge. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's help, and I know it's hard, but we're going to get through it together. Our next video will be an example, and it will be how we deliver the instruction. Okay, thank you.